Hello, hello, and welcome. We are live. And we are waiting for two people. So if you want to draft here in this big board, feel free to hang out. I figured I'd run one or two of these before the big game kicks off. And hopefully we can get a couple people in here. Hopefully the scourge of the Chiefs-Eagles drafters will not strike in here, because otherwise this could end up being a big waste of time. But we are now filled, and it looks like we got the 8-hole, which is good personally, because I have not actually drafted too much from this position, so this would be something new for me, which I appreciate and am excited about. So we are about 30 seconds out, and yeah, off we go. From the 8-hole, have a little bit of a decision to make. Personally, I think I've basically decided that I just want a flat exposure in the first round. I don't want to take a stand. With that said, I have some concerns about Nico and Amon-Ra. Particularly Amon-Ra. Losing the OC, never great. Feels like if anyone in this range could fall off, to me, for some reason, it feels like him. I think Neighbors is on the ascendancy. If I were making the ADPs, I'd probably have Neighbors at 8 and just shove everyone down one. But being that, again, I don't really want to make big stands here, I will probably just, if nobody reaches, just end up taking Nico. So we'll see. A little weird that Chase goes at 3. Not too crazy, but that is a fall because he pretty consistently goes 1-2. But someone really wanted somebody really wanted Gibbs there. Took him at 2. Nothing wrong with that. Again, if you're making stands here, then you're going to do things like that. So let's see if I can get anyone in here to hang out before kickoff today. Sending this out to a few different groups to see if anyone wants to hang. Oops. And I just shared my DraftKings ref link in my friend group. That was not what I wanted to do. All right, here we go. So Bijan goes at 5. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far. It looks like we might have some auto drafters, which is really not what we want, but it is a fact of life. So our first weird thing that happens, we got a lot of no Badgers in here, so this could be a wild draft. Someone takes Josh Allen at 6, which is crazy early for Josh Allen. Always get your radar up, hoping that these don't get thrown out, because it does take a long time. But what it does mean is I don't have to take Nico Collins at 8 that I was not super excited about, and I can take CD Lamb at 8, who I think is just a much better pick this year. He was the 102 last year. I think the Cowboys are going to be significantly improved. So happy to snag him there. Puka going at 7, I think that's fine, especially sounds like Stafford's coming back, so got at least one more year of pretty high end to elite QB play. So Nakua. Cooper Kupp sounds like he's on the way out, so he makes a ton of sense. So we see Nico Amon-Ra go. Nothing unexpected there. And we continue. Likely to tune into the waste management after this. It's always such a fun lead-in to the big game. And it looks like Dietrich is running away with it, but you never know. The pressure does get to people. Last year I actually got to go to the waste management, which was really fun, and then watch the Super Bowl from a hotel out there in Phoenix. So Henry goes, Brian Thomas, Gene T. A-Chain, nothing too strange. By ADP, the next pick would be CMC and then Drake London. I don't know if I have any CMC yet. Might be time to take the first share if Network God passes on him, but he does not. So I'm just going to take Drake London, who we saw just get hyper targeted by Penix. I think, London's a great pick in the second round this year. I seems like Penix is at least going to be serviceable. They're not afraid to let him throw the ball around. So happy to take London. Like the Lamb London start, but would not have minded getting some CMC shares because he, the guy we're taking at the 101 last season, falling into the second round. If he's healthy, that's going to look like one of the great steals in the big board by the time this wraps up in December. So Brock Bowers goes next. He's a guy I have not been taking as much as the market is in the second round. I just have a real tough time paying, the 18th pick for Bowers when you can get Trey McBride at 30. I don't think there's that big a difference in the second round. You're still really looking at, an elite player that you're passing on to take a tight end. And it's not like we are particularly confident in the QB play in Vegas. This is for 2025, Daniel. So this is going to be a 20-round draft, fill out an entire roster of players, and it's a week 1 through 14 is the first round. The top 3 teams in this pod of 12 will advance. And then in weeks 15 and 16, they are 10-man pods, and you have to win that pod to advance to the next one. And then the final, I think, is about 558 people. So the goal here is to build a team that, can survive all the way to week 17. There are no ad drops. There are no trades. The team you draft is the team you've got, and you do not have to set your lineup. So unfortunately, dear God, this team might get thrown out because I do not know who Kay McCord is. Apparently there's Kyle McCord, and they took them with the 23rd pick. So it's kind of a pain in the butt because Underdog does... Dear God, and this guy's taking all Eagles. Underdog does these quality checks to make sure that none of these drafts have anything too crazy, because if someone is doing something stupid like taking Kyle McCord in the second round, it enables everyone else to build super teams that you can't get in a normal room. So there's a decent chance this will be a waste of an hour unless they right the ship and start acting normally, which I am skeptical of. Oops. Get all the St. Brown. Well, I did not get St. Brown. I took CeeDee Lamb over him. I'm just pretty bullish on Dallas putting it together this year, at least compared to last year. And we were confidently taking Lamb with the second pick in the draft last season. And, they might add Gene T. They're definitely going to upgrade the running back room. And I think they're just going to be a lot better than they were last season. But I do like, I've always liked Amon-Ra. I'm a little worried about them losing Ben Johnson. But, we will see. We will see what happens. Sorry, I was just seeing if this was the guy who might be ruining the draft, but... So this guy takes Kyle McCord and then he takes DJ Moore. So what happened here? Because DJ Moore is not it's a little early, but it's not like a crazy pick for Moore. I don't know what that guy is doing, and it has thrown me off a little bit here. So I do apologize. Because you can end up going through these drafts and spending an hour, and then they get thrown out. So up next we will see who does he take? He takes Bucky Irving. By ADP, the next pick would be T. Higgins. I think I will probably just take T. Higgins here, take the falling ADP value. I don't really love Breece Hall. McCord won me a lot of dollars at Choose this year. I cannot hate. Well, is he even projected? Like, when's this guy projected to get drafted? I have not gone much past Jackson Dart and Milrow when it comes to the QBs. That's kind of the end of the line for me. So I legitimately don't know anything about Kyle McCord mid round. So that makes sense. So, I mean, maybe if this was a dynasty startup, that might make sense. But the odds of him starting this year seem pretty low. And this is not a format that lasts beyond week 17 of this season. Even if Kyle McCord goes to the Hall of Fame, it does not help us if he does not score points this fantasy season. But are you watching any of the are you watching the waste management as we go? It looks like Scotty missed his birdie on 2, which is disappointing. I am fighting for a min cash over in DraftKings land, but you have Dietrich, so you might have something live. I can't recall though if your lower priced guys were doing anything or not. My God, nobody's taking Breece Hall. What is going on here? What is going on? This is a great question. I don't think he goes back to Cincy. I think there's a decent chance he ends up with the Patriots. But I'm somewhat just assuming he goes somewhere to be the number 1. It seems like if he leaves Cincy, it's because he wants to be the alpha somewhere. But I don't really know. I don't know where he's going to go. I guess if I had to guess, I would say the Patriots, but it wouldn't surprise me if they just drafted an elite receiver instead of paying for Higgins, who I'm not super high on, but it's pretty late for him to go. So I would have loved Trey McBride here, but I think I'm going to take Chase Brown. He's sort of the last of this high tier of running back. There is obviously a lot of risk that the Bengals add another running back to the room. Chase Brown was getting like 90+% of the backfield touches at the end of the season. I don't think it's realistic to project that to him next year. But even with that said, if they add like another Zach Moss type, I think Chase Brown is going to keep the lion's share of the role. Hopefully he keeps the goal line role. And, Cincinnati does have a pretty explosive offense. So taking him 10 picks past ADP feels pretty good, even if we're not getting that sort of bell cow that we're really hoping for. Marvin Harrison goes. Don't mind that pick there. Oh my God, Kareem Hunt. Oh, what are people doing? People have lost their minds. Kareem Hunt is going to retire, and you're taking him at the 43rd pick. There's just some weird stuff going on here. So we'll see if these drafts even if they get thrown out or not. Scatabo last round pick. Scatabo actually goes. Scatabo's ADP is 121, so he's going in the 10th round. I've been taking my share of Scatabo. The fantasy community seems somewhat torn whether he is the most overdrafted player or if he's a good value. I personally think Scatabo is awesome, and I think people are just hating on him because they never heard of him till that Texas game, and they're like, oh, he's just popular because of that one game. I think he's a good player, and he's going to find a role in the NFL. So I got no problem taking Scatabo there. Now, what does the Kyle McCord drafter do? Please take somebody normal so we don't get this thrown out. My God. This is sort of like make or break here. He takes Joe Mixon, which is a perfectly reasonable pick. So hopefully this draft doesn't get thrown out because, people taking Kareem Hunt, who really shouldn't be drafted, just pushes value to everyone else and is enabling some pretty strong picks on the other side of these players. But you have people doing weird stuff like this guy. His draft looks normal, but does this little one think this is a Super Bowl draft? Like, he has all Eagles and Chiefs. He's got Saquon, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kelsey. Like, people either don't get it or they're just trolling. I don't understand. But here we are. Like, does this guy think this is a Super Bowl contest and the rest of us didn't get the memo? I legitimately don't understand this. And again, I just hope it doesn't get thrown out, but these are all semi-reasonable picks. So we'll see. It's when they start drafting like Ferkser that we really got problems. With that said, looks like I'm probably going to end up with a receiver here. Based on who's available, I'm up in 4 picks. I am also bullish on Marvin Harrison. I think we all expected a little too much from a rookie last year. He was being drafted at the end of the first round, beginning of the second in these best ball drafts. So for him to now go in the fourth round with another year under his belt feels like a little bit of an overreaction. I mean, he might not be that generational talent we all. Oh God, this guy took Noah Gray. What are people doing? Like, this isn't a. This is so brutal. Well, I legitimately don't understand what people are doing. And unfortunately, I will probably not run another big board after this because I have heard on the streets that this is a bit of an epidemic, and I just don't want to do these if they're going to get thrown out. Romo Dunze, I don't understand why he is priced where he is. I legitimately do not understand why we all have decided he's like a 5th round pick when he really didn't even look all that great last year. I know it seems like Keenan Allen is going to leave, but I don't get his ADP. Not super impressed by him. I think Chicago should be better, but this is a lot. And I say that, and then I take like a rookie that we literally don't know anything about. But I do think Ted McMillan is one of the best, if not the best, rookie wide receiver prospect. And this is projected to be a somewhat poor rookie wide receiver class, but I think McMillan should be. I think McMillan should be fine, and I'm more interested in taking that potential upside over what I saw with Odunze last year. The question, though, is taking McMillan over guys like Metcalf, Devontae, Waddle. Is that smart? And I'm a little more skeptical of that, but being that I kind of have a bit of a veteran room. Hey, Daniel, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And I'll chat with you later. So if you're just joining, this has been a weird draft that I'm really hoping isn't thrown out, but there is a non-zero chance it does. Someone took Kyle McCord at pick 23, but then started doing everything normal. But then you have the Josh Allen drafter, who I thought was normal, then just started taking Chiefs and took Noah Gray at 54. And I think there was one other weird thing that happened in here too. So I am just really hoping. Oh yeah, the one hole decided to take all Eagles and Chiefs. So again, these people think they're smarter than everyone, or they're just trolling, and I legitimately do not know what is going on here. So I think I'm just going to take, could either take a running back, or I could take Sam Laporta, who I do quite like. I think I'll just take the falling value on Ken Walker here. But again, unfortunately, this all could be for naught if this draft is tossed by the wayside, which again, I really hope it isn't, because got a pretty strong team, but how much of that strong team is due to people doing weird stuff and taking Chiefs and Eagles ahead of ADP. We shall see. All right. I'm waiting on the Noah Gray guy. He's probably frantically scrolling for Chiefs and Eagles. I'm going to see like Jahan Dotson as my bet of who this guy takes. Or no, Dallas Goedert's still out there. So we'll see if he goes double elite tight end with Noah Gray and Dallas Goedert. And it is Dallas Goedert. All right. When you're good, you're good. Gosh darn it. All right. Well. Yeah, definitely waiting till after the Super Bowl to do another one of these, but we will act like it is not getting thrown out, because you never know. If it doesn't get thrown out, I don't want to have thrown the draft when I have the chance to build something that's going to be hard to get in a normal room. Somebody takes Mahomes. It looks like, they're not just making Chiefs, they're just making a bad team. I don't understand why you would add Mahomes when you have Daniels here. We have a lot of no Badgers, which normally would be good, but we do have the Chiefs Eagles people here kind of ruining everything. See what the McCord drafter does. Was this a star method fiasco? What happened here? We simply do not have enough information. Scotty Scheffler has 19 feet for Eagle. he makes it, he goes to 13 under. He'll still be 6 back, but we'll see if the Scheffler drumbeat gets loud. So Kenny Gainwell goes, and then EJ Jenkins. So this draft probably will get thrown out, unfortunately, because EJ Jenkins is going to project for stone 0 points. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But here we are. Man, it is unfortunate. So Chris Godwin goes, Judy goes, Godwin goes. Oh, man. I'm just talking in the Discord. 2 people taking all Chiefs / Eagles. Another guy took Kyle McCord. Well, maybe this one will slip through the old underdog, slip under their nose. They'll be too busy watching the Super Bowl to throw this out. Let's see what we've got coming up. Yeah, again, look at the average ADP we have available versus where we are in the draft, right? We're up here at 80, and yet we have 10 players with an ADP of lower than that. So we'll soldier on. I would probably add Travion Henderson here if Sean doesn't take him, but Sean appears to be auto drafting. So Henderson does go. Now the question is, do I take another receiver? Take another rookie in Burton. I could take Calvin Ridley. I think I'm going to take Calvin Ridley here, and I will take one of these running backs later. I don't know if it would have been better to take a third running back versus that 5th receiver, but I do like some of the later running backs. I think if Calvin Ridley is your 5th receiver, your room looks pretty darn good. But we will see. It does look like a lot of the people in this room have potentially just thrown in the towel on this draft's viability and are now auto drafting, which is going to make it take even longer than it would have. But that is the game we are playing today. Yeah, the Josh Allen drafter it then takes Will Shipley. So brutal here. Tyrone Tracy goes. Someone is in the Discord, in the Davis Maddock Discord, asking, is McCord this guy? No Drama Ranch, and it is. And then we have Little T1, and who's the other one? Taking all Chiefs. All Chiefs / Eagles. I will not be doing another big board today. All right. Well, you know what? If you're hanging out, if you're watching this, you are one of the real ones, and I appreciate you doing this. And am I up? You? No, I'm up next. I would love Judkins here. I'm just like imagining this team because it's going to be so good when it's done. But yeah, we'll take the massive ADP value on a pretty darn good rookie. And yeah. People in the Discord saying it's happening to them. So it kind of stinks. I don't really know how Underdog can combat it. I know they do a manual review of these. I might end up just going on autopilot because there's no way this draft survives. It's too far gone. It is too far gone, and this is not the best use of anyone's time, unfortunately. We'll see this. We'll see this. This will be good trivia. Who do we? I think. I mean, it's got to be Dotson. That operator takes here. Juju. Okay. Well, Juju goes. Scotty Scheffler made a birdie. He did not make his eagle putt, so he remains 7 back of Thomas Dietrich, in his quest for the waste management title this year. It is looking like a little bit of a runaway. Jordan Spieth, though, did birdie too, so he is trying to keep it close. He's within 5. He's there at T2, so it's always good to see Spieth in contention. It's always a little bit of fun. Right. Man, this is so brutal. Let's see if a war room will fire. See if we can do a war room, because these haven't been bad. If we can do a war room, we'll do a war room. But if it's like, waiting for 7, well, I don't know. Might just not be the day for streaming content, and that's okay. That's okay. Go back to our big board here. So So this guy who was taking all Eagles stopped at EJ Jenkins and then took 2 quarterbacks. So it's unclear what they're doing. Maybe they got clued in that this is not really a great way to build a team. I wish Operator did this because, if we could somehow save this draft, I could have a start that I am really excited about. At this point, though, I am going to start having to look at quarterback, natural stacking partners. I've got Dak, who goes pretty late. I've got Penix, and then it's sort of a mystery box. So that is to say, I don't need to run out and click quarterback this round. I would probably take Bo Nix if he falls to me, but I don't think he will. I do worry that this is a room where people are just going to start hoovering up quarterbacks for no reason. I imagine Little T, who already has 3 quarterbacks, people who muck with drafts like this are likely to keep mucking with the draft, and he could very well take one. And nobody on this side of the board has taken a quarterback, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see. I might take one on the way back. I might even just take Dak early because I don't think I can count on him to swing all the way back. I think I would take Jonnu. I really like Njoku. but I do want a tight end, and then I'm going to take a quarterback. Jonnu also opens the sort of backdoor to Tua, who goes pretty late compared to his potential value. Oh, good. He took Samaje. But again, I think I'm just arranging deck chairs on the Titanic here in a draft that is not going to count for anything. Yeah, this is pretty brutal pace. We're 36 minutes in, and we are in the 9th round. So we've got auto drafters. All right, I'll just click Jonnu. We'll just see how many people are up for the for the war room. 7 still. Okay, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime particularly soon. So back to this unfortunate big board. Pearsall goes, Purdy goes. So at this point, it's just trying to predict what the idiots will do. Sort of the fun of this. I don't know if I have it in me to really round out this draft because it is such a waste of time. Njoku goes. And of course, the guy has to take Goff, who does not have any Lions. That makes a lot of sense. Why Riverhounds, who has Amon-Ra, didn't take Goff, but took Purdy and Love instead. I will never know. But again, trying to figure out why people do what they do in these drafts can be a bit of a fool's errand. I will queue up Dak and see if we can't get him. I anticipate a whole lot of quarterbacks to be taken coming up. All right, so we will take Dak here. Man, this would be a really good team. Oof. Scotty flying to green on 4. Not in a great spot. See what Thomas Dietrich is up to if he's holding it together. Ooh. Dietrich in some trouble. We got 23 feet for par. Meanwhile, Jordan Spieth drives it into the bunker on a par 5. So the door is open, folks. The door is open. This guy, one of the idiots, taking Tall Chiefs, takes Justin Watson. Well, I am going to call it here. There's really no point in continuing to stream or take this draft particularly seriously because it's simply going to get thrown out. But I do appreciate you hanging out. It's also literally going to take another 40 minutes because so many people have given up. So everyone, I hope you enjoy the Super Bowl. I hope all of your props hit. I will try to do this tomorrow and hopefully get some better rooms. But with that, everyone, again, take care. Good luck, and again, thanks for stopping by. Bye.